I am not the most technologically savvy with specifically streaming, so this is all new for me. But we are back, and I am super excited to get started. I did want to do a little bit of an intro since this will be our first recorded episode. Um, and on that note, I'm going to go ahead and record here in Zoom as
Recording in
well.
progress.
Whoa. Hi. So, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jamie or Emma, depending on which kind of social circle you know me as. Most people in the TTRPG community call me Emma, and this is my first stream that I've put through. I have also worked on a podcast in the past called The Galaxy's Greatest, and it's a passion project, but it's not something that I have been able to put a lot of time into recently. And we've got some other wonderful people online with us here today, and I would like to introduce you to them as well. We've got an awesome group. So, introductions. My name is Emma, pronouns she, her, and I will be playing as the game master and also as the character Remy. Jenna, will you go ahead next for us?
Hi! Hi everyone! I'm Jenna. I will be playing... Oh, fuck! Wait a minute! Wow, good thing we did that first, huh?
Wow, thanks for the family-friendly welcome, Jenna.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
Hi, I'm Jenna. I will be playing Li Suja. This is my first time playing Pathfinder 2nd edition. I've been doing role play things, not tabletop, but just role play in general for like a long time. And I'm glad to be here. My pronouns are she, her, and my character's a witch. She has a fan. You're gonna see me messing up. That's being a lot. I'm also gonna be watching my language, maybe. Who knows?
Oh, you're fine.
Don't bet on it.
You're good. I mean, don't go crazy, but you're fine. Let's go to Dawn next.
Hello, I'm Don. I am playing Krieg Fogcrusher, the Kobold Swashbuckler. I will also be handling the audio, music, sound effects, so if anything's too loud or not loud enough, please let me know, and I will get things sorted. But very excited to play with this group. And yeah, that's me.
Thank you very much. What about you, Mike?
My name is Mike, pronouns he, him. I am playing Shaija Contour. She's a human, 38 years old, and she is a summoner. She was saved by her devotion phantom Hem after a almost death. And she comes from she's like a peasantish person who's a herbalist.
Nice. All right. Thank you very much. Let's go to... Oh. Whoops. Hi. Thank you very much. Let's go to Gwen next, and then we'll finish with Michaela.
Hi, I'm Gwen, and I am almost finished with my makeup for my character because I'm the only one without character art yet. I play Hannah Lyer, and she is a mess of a fighter who's trying to hold it together. She's searching for ex-girlfriend, not sure if she died or not, and in the meantime, she's falling in love with every beautiful woman on the way.
Amazing. Thank you. And last but not least, I think I got Yes, last but not least, let's go to Michaela.
Hello, I'm Michaela, she, her pronouns. I'll be playing Sogafa. She is an adorable little halfling, but she's also a Dampier, so she's kind of struggling with her identity a little bit. She lost her mother, her kind of best friend, a few years ago, and has been really struggling with figuring out what she wants to do with her life now. So she has started to travel because she enjoys learning about new cultures and new things, and she's got a natural curiosity. So she's excited to see where her current path takes her.
Thank you very much. All right. So, if you are new to us, if you're just tuning in, this is Galesrian's Greatest, which is our kind of overarching title for the stream/podcast. And the story that we are telling is called Tales of the Witch Boy. So, without further ado, I'd like to take you into our world of Galesrian. Thank you, Don. The year is 1105. The Lustral War and its horrific sacrifices have ceased. Magic and the beginnings of technology abound. While sailing ships wander the oceans en masse, airships have also begun to take flight. The world is in a place of tension after the Great War, but communities are beginning to heal, and the powers in the wrong, primarily the lizard folk and Knoll of Flaybrush, have accepted responsibility for their atrocities and begun transferring power to those who will work to prevent further wrongdoing. You all find yourselves at a celebration tonight. The first ever witch boy has been discovered. The first boy ever in the history of Galesrian, as far as anybody knows, has shown to manifest powers as a witch. A familiar has approached him, they've made a connection, and he now is a new member of the Southern Coven in the Saga Gesa domain. Can I get a little introduction as to why each of your characters are here in the Saga Gesa domain, as much as you would want to share?
Yeah, Hannah is here because she's heard rumors of a ghost ship that matches the description of the one that she drowned on, and is hoping to find some more information. Unfortunately, it's been 7 years, and she doesn't really have the intelligence or know-how to really be good at investigation, but she's trying her darndest.
Thank you. Can we have somebody else tell us what you're doing here in Saga Gesa?
Craig recently arrived via a little rowboat. He is a deckhand on. He has a career of sailing on ships. Got to the point where he was felt he learned everything he could from the current crew, and set out on his own, where he ran afoul of some very poor sailing checks on a river he was unused to piloting ships on, and finds himself in this area looking for a new crew to shack up with.
Thank you. Who else?
So Gotha came to Saga Gesa because she wanted to go see the world, but she's from the Severed Wilds, and she kind of just decided that going to another jungle would at least be somewhat familiar, so it was a good place to start. At the moment, she's pretty concerned to hear about witches in the area. Witches where she comes from are not generally pleasant people, so she's kind of investigating in the same way Hannah is, but more out of like a moral concern.
Very cool. What about either Lishija or Shaija?
Shaija's from a very small town where she was an herbalist. And her whole life she's been living in that town. Her and her brother, when they were younger, made a pact that someday they would go see the wilds of Saga Gesa, and he died in the Lustral War 3 years ago. And once her kids were old enough, she just left her family, and she's out here to explore, see some herbs, because she is an herbalist. So she's just exploring and trying to live her life for the first time at the age of 38.
Thank you. And for our listeners, our viewers, I did just put a picture of the continent of Sagagesa up on our stream so you can kind of see what the overall continent looks like. But let's go to Li Shijia.
Li Shijia has very recently found herself exiled from the inner palace where she used to live. Formerly nobility, she found herself privileged to many of the delicacies in life, but now she can't have them anymore. So she formerly had a retinue, but then was told that because of the circumstances of her removal, that she will not continue to be having it. She has managed to find herself a horse somehow and is currently heading towards the wilds to meet this fabled witch boy and just see what's happening and make sure no one is rude and just learn a little bit more about who this person is and offer gifts, of course. It's only polite.
Well, you have all arrived in the village of Bungai. And this village is very quiet, very small, and it's nestled within the jungle. There are any number of living things all around you, and there are people with lanterns walking toward this structure that you're in. It's a very social looking environment at the moment. And you are currently within a structure called the Haven. And the Haven is the Southern Coven's home. And it's a coven of witches that inhabits this building. And you have spent a little bit of time exploring. And we went through some of that in our prologue last time. Could I have one of you give us a quick rundown of what happened in our prologue? As much as you can remember. It can be like super quick. It could be a little bit more detailed. I just want to see what you guys remember. Anybody feel free to jump in.
All right. I remember we were traveling to this area from Baikisi, which is the major capital of Sagagesa, and we all sort of stumbled on each other as we were traveling in the general direction of Boy, all for our own reasons. There were a few mistakes made, wrong turns, and we ended up getting a cauldron for La Shigia and really good fruit for Hannah. It was amazing and stolen. And we having a dance, or they did, and I just sort of flopped around.
Very nice. Dawn, I do actually have a question for the people in the chat. For me, with the sound, the music is coming through kind of choppy simply because I think when people talk, the music quiets down, but I'm not sure if that's the case for everybody else. I'd just like to know what people are hearing as well.
All right. Yep. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yep.
So we did go to, you started out in Baikisi and you worked your way over to Bungai and you met these travelers, all of you, each other, on the road. And now you're here in Bungai, you're here in this village, and you've traveled into the Haven, and you've engaged in some of the festivities. You danced a little bit in this Hall of Joy, and you watched them welcome the witch boy, Remy. And then apparently Remy had to go do a ceremony to kind of initiate himself into the Southern Coven. And you are now outside in the garden at night. And there is a game that is being played in front of you. And in this game, you see two witches sitting across from each other. And one of them is a very stout halfling woman. And she has long braided hair in multiple braids. She's wearing what seems to be a cloak of some sort. Like, it's a little bit tattered. It's very modest. And she's wearing very earthy tones. And in front of her stands a doll. And across from her is another witch. And this witch is a dark-skinned woman. And she has dreadlocks that go down the side of her, over her shoulder. And she is wearing very bright, colorful tones, or colors. She has a bright red cloak. She's wearing pants that are like a yellow color, a bright yellow, and she has some blues kind of thrown in as accents throughout. And in front of her also sits a doll. And the witch who welcomed you all into this activity, this event, explains that the purpose of the game is to make your doll dance faster and for a longer period of time than the other witch's doll. And with that, the dark-skinned witch turns around and says, "I could use some help, please." And she points to Lishijia, and then to Shaija, and then to Sagafa, and then to Krieg, and then to Hannah. And she invites you all to step forward and says, "I would very much appreciate if you might help me concentrate as I play this game." And then she also says, "But of course, this event is about a celebration for our witch." And she looks down at Remy and she says, "Young Remy, would you join me as well?" And Remy kind of like saunters up. This 11-year-old boy, he's like, yeah, okay, I got this. Yeah, sure, that's fine. And his little dragon that's following him around, his familiar, hops up on his shoulder, and he joins all of you. And she says, "Wonderful. Remy, I'm so honored that you will be playing on my side of this game. Would it be fair to assume that one of your friends might like to, one of your more competitive friends," and she side-eyes a half-orc woman in the crowd, or a half-orc girl in the crowd, "if one of your more competitive friends might like to compete against you?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, Roka. Go ahead." And Roka, like, this half-orc girl, she looks to be about 14 years old. She looks pretty strong, and she's wearing what seems to be like ranger's clothing, like leather armor, a training knife. She's not quite a ranger yet, and she walks over to the other witch, the halfling, who nods, and Roka pulls over a few other friends. And you now have basically all of you with Remy pitted against this other group. What I need you to do is be prepared to give me a skill check of your choice that you think might help this witch concentrate. And the witch explains that she needs help concentrating, and she asks all of you to join hands. And so Remy joins hands with probably Lishijia. Yeah, what are we feeling? What are we thinking here?
Real quick, is Remy on our side or is he on the other side of us?
He's on your side. He's excited to get to compete against his friends because he's gonna win.
I'm imagining him. He has a witch hat, but I'm imagining like a backwards snapback on this kid. It's like, all right, little man.
I extend a hand to Shaija if I could have this honor.
Why, sure.
Always a good time. It may not be able to help me concentrate, but hopefully it helps her.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
I'll hop on the other side of Shaija. My hand's gonna be like way up here, but it's okay.
And okay, so we've got Hannah linking hands with Shaija, Shaija linking hands with Sagafa. What are Krieg and Lee Shijia doing?
I look at Remy and I sort of like look him up and down and I say, well, it's a pleasure to meet you too, little witchling. And I take his hand.
And he says, thanks. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
Craig walks up and pulls out a very ornate-looking shell, and he's going to start softly playing it. This will help you keep time. Focus on the beats.
I
and
love
he's gonna
that.
stand off to the side, do a little bit of tootling in this very big-looking conch shell with holes in it.
Can you give us some noise of a crowd, Dawn, and maybe a little bit of that music if you want? And so the game begins. You're a witch, this woman who has welcomed you into this game. She's sitting now on her knees, her hands in her lap, and she's facing the other witch, and she begins whispering and chanting to herself. The other witch follows in suit. And the two begin chanting in time, trying to outdo the other's chant, if you will. And after a few moments, you might notice that there is a little bit of a... and I think if you could turn it down just a bit, Dawn, that'd be great. In a few moments, there is a purple haze rising from the witch on your side, and a blue haze rising from the witch on the other side. And as this haze begins to rise, each of the dolls stand up, and they begin dancing on either side of each other. I need each of you to please give me a skill check that you think would be appropriate, and I want you to be ready to justify it if need be.
I would like to do a stealth check, just specifically so I don't distract her and I don't get the attention of the dolls.
I will allow you to do a stealth check at advantage if you can give me... No, I'm going to have you do a stealth check regular, but also give me another skill at advantage. Something that would help her concentrate, actively concentrate. Like, think of this as you're channeling your energy into this witch as best you can.
I think perception, and I'm looking for weaknesses, sizing them up.
I like it.
Thank you for advantage.
Of course. I'm sorry it didn't help too much.
All right, so I got a 12.
All right. Okay, so we've got Sagafa with a 24 in religion. Can you describe what you're doing?
Yes. I think, okay, I better just get into the accent now, or it's going to be really hard to switch back and forth. I think Sagafa she's a religious person herself, so I think as part of her desire to understand new people, she would like to tap into kind of the spiritual energy that I think would probably come with a gathering like this, and with this kind of magic and just kind of the innate power of witches as a magic user. So I think she's kind of really tapped into that and trying to send those vibes kind of back out into the universe.
I like it. And what about Creek? Can you describe to us a little bit about your song that you're playing or what you're doing?
Yes. Watching. So he's doing two things. When it's Remy's turn, he's going to go into a very as perfect as possible. He's got an 18 performance of keeping in time with Remy's movements and encouraging it, keeping it steady. But when it's the other side's turn, he's going to purposefully play the wrong note and kind of be discordant and just try and mess up their rhythm.
You know what? Give me. I'm gonna. Your performance check was an 18. That's pretty good. I'm gonna take a -1 to one of my rolls because of that.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I love to see it.
And what about Lishijia? What is she doing?
I have 2 ideas. Tell me
Okay.
if one of them is actually a spell to just do just do the nudge fate on the lady who is casting. We never got her name. Oh no, on the lady who is controlling the doll. If that doesn't work, I have a second thing.
I'm gonna whisper. I think her name is Kumbatia.
Kumbatia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kumbatia.
Yes, exactly. And that was stated in last session that our listeners weren't here for. But yeah, only one of our listeners was here for. And okay, I love that. You should totally do Nudge Fate.
Okay.
So what is that? Is that a +2?
It's a +1, and it's a +1. It's not a +2. It's +1.
Got it. Very nice. What about Shaija? What is Shaija doing?
Shaija looks over at Hannah and smiles, excited to be a part of something. She kind of feels very out of place, and she briefly lets go of Hannah's hand for a moment and waves her hand up and down, and she starts chanting similar to the witches. And as she grabs a hold of Hannah's hand, the tattoo on her hand starts to glow a little bit as she casts Infectious Enthusiasm. But I'm just going to do an occult roll, and what it is to encourage the rest of the team.
I love it. Do we see Hem at this point?
No, not yet.
Okay. I don't want to
Hem
give
will
too
come.
much away, but I just wanted to make it clear. All right. Very cool.
Oh, I got tingles from that.
That was really, really cool. What was it?
It's Infectious Enthusiasm. I'm not really doing it for the spell itself. It just, anybody who watches you cast the spell is infectious, and so they get a concentration check, or a concentration action, which will give them a +1 to a will save or charisma check, and it's just infectious, so that's...
Amazing.
It can be used to give +1 to attack, for example, to other people.
Got it. All right. Well, Remy then kind of looks at all of you, and he takes his hands away from Lishijia and I can't remember who else. I think he might be on
Sagafa?
the end. Was it Sagafa as well?
Could be.
And he takes his hands. He's like, all right. And then he looks over his shoulder, and his little dragon, which, to describe physically what this looks like, it's a dragon that seems to have mushrooms growing all over its body. Very colorful, very beautiful, but also very strange looking. And the dragon spreads its wings, looks up at the sky, and gives out a little "Rah!" nothing too impressive. It's kind of like when a cat lets out their first meow. And so he is going to attempt to cast. And I know I said skill checks, but I like what y'all are doing with these spells. So I think that's a really good way to do it. I need to pull up my character sheet for Remy because I'm also playing a character. Okay. Actions. He's gonna cast.
I think Sogafa is definitely line dancing a little bit at this point.
I think Craig will. He can dance and play at the same time. I think he'll kind of be the opposite side of the line, kind of mirroring.
Nice.
Shaija, if you can lead, I can follow.
All right. Well, I think Remy, as he takes his hands away, he looks over at his dragon familiar, and he goes, "Okay, I got this." And then he lifts his head up. His dragon lifts his head up, does a little "rah," and then he casts the spell, prestidigitation, and attempts to change the color of the grass around the witch who's sitting in front of all of you. And I think at first it doesn't quite look like it's taking effect, and then he concentrates a little bit harder, and then the grass becomes a kind of a shifting of colors. It goes from red to blue to green to yellow, like an RGB gaming keyboard that just like breathes different colors. No, okay, sorry. And he does that, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that will give our witch a +1.
Ooh.
Okay, I need to roll for the other team. All right. So our other group has 6 individuals as well, plus the witch. Oh, and also I should mention, as each of you make take this action, you all find that the doll is able to stand up a little stronger and dance a little bit more actively, and your actions seem to influence the witch's ability to call on her patron and to allow this doll to continue moving. Okay. Our first roll. Oof, 19 on the other side. I'm going to make these all flat because...
I did give negatives. I gave a negative to a roll. So I don't know
Thank you.
who else gave negatives, but...
I will let you choose which one you want to give a negative to.
Can I see the results before I say it?
Yeah, can you actually not see these in your chat?
No, I can. I'm just asking, like, okay, like, if it's 19, I'm going to pass. But if it's, like, close to what I think would fail, I don't know if that's too metagamey for you to...
Can you do a -1 on the 1?
Yeah.
2 natural ones? What in the world?
Oh no, that's rough there. Sorry, friends.
The number kept going down. It's so...
Okay.
It's a very special show.
Take your pick, Dawn.
Yep. I'm going to drop that 12 down.
Sounds good. It's a good call, because it is a DC 12 for the skill check.
Noise.
So you have almost everybody in your group was able to do something that brought your group closer toward winning this game, right? And the other group didn't do so well, and so not after not too long, the doll from the other side like starts to wobble a bit, and then starts to stumble, and then falls on the ground, motionless. And Kumbatia stands up, nods at all of you, and says, "Thank you." And in that exact moment, hang tight for a sec. Entertain our viewers, please.
So Craig is still line dancing across from Hannah.
Sogafa.
Sorry, Sogafa, thank you. And just tooting up a storm with this special seashell he has, and he's grinning, he's dancing, he's having a great time.
Lisija is not dancing, but like her little pot that she got, that's like the stubby pot that grew from the ground, has little legs.
The cauldron?
The cauldron, yes.
Yes.
In like the meantime before this, like she had like prestidigitation the heck out of it, and now it's like super like weirdly shiny. And she's not dancing, but like she says something in like Chinese, and then all of a sudden you see it like trying to dance, but it's like its legs are so short and the pot is so big that it's sort of just like,
oh, it's so
marching.
cute.
It's like, whoop, boop, boop,
I
boop.
love it.
Hannah goes up behind Remy and pulls him up in the air as celebration and like catches him on the way down, puts him on her shoulders. It's like, good job, you did something. You did it.
Well, in the moment that you end this game, another witch stumbles into the center of the dance, the game. She falls to the ground and she exclaims, "A vision! A mark of malintent!" And then she looks into the trees. Everybody give me a perception check.
$13?
A bit morbid for the festivities, don't you think?
12 for Sogafa.
Oh, that would have been so good. Only 8 for Shija.
Why do we need malts and tents?
Thank you, Hannah.
It's very important to have malts and tents in order to chase away bad spirits, as it were. Without them,
Spirits. Oh, I
bad
knew
spirits.
witches were. I knew witches were
Shaija.
a sketchy group.
And Krieg. I don't mean to cut y'all off, but something does happen in this moment. You notice that there is a fluttering little ball up in the trees that seems to be made of a golden color with a little red gem in the center. And as you notice this, the same witch that stumbled to the ground yells, "In the trees, spies, listening to the boy, please stop them. Their creator means harm." And then she gets up, and Remy looks at all of
on
you.
my shoulders.
So tall.
What?
Yeah, he's
She's
on my
literally
shoulders.
Like a beacon standing out over the crowd.
Wait. What?
Threw him
I
up
mean,
in the air and
what-
caught him and put him on my shoulders.
Yeah, this is like super visible right now.
Okay, I entirely missed that. Okay.
Here is
What did the witch say again?
Well, he's
They're
the witch.
spying on him.
The witch said, "In the trees, spies, listening to the boy, please stop them. Their creator means harm." And then Remy looks at everybody. And I'm going to roll an acrobatics check for Remy, considering he's up on your shoulders.
Did I help with an athletics?
Yeah, I'll allow you to assist with that. Hey, Mike, how do assists work?
So usually it's a flat check, or it's a DC 20. So you just roll whatever it is against DC 20, and if you succeed, it's a +1. If you're an expert, it's if you critical success, it's +2, and then if you're expert, it's +3. If you're master, yeah, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Huh? +1. I got a 24.
Why is this not? Oh, there we go. Okay. Ignore the second one. So, Remy successfully makes it down from your shoulders, and he looks at everybody and goes, "Well, let's go." And he sprints into the trees.
I think he's looking for the tent.
Can
I
Yes?
Can I do a society check if assassination is a thing in this country?
Go ahead. Yeah.
While they're thinking, I'm going to be running straight after Remy.
Yeah, so am I.
Same.
14 only.
All right. 14. I mean, as you know, assassinations are something that could happen anywhere, though they would be uncommon here in Sagagesa. Sagagesa is a very community-oriented place. It would be strange to see someone coming in to assassinate someone else, but this is a big event, and people have been sharing that news, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, but Sagagesa isn't the first place you would think of when you hear of assassinations. The human kingdoms, however, absolutely.
Bread
the
and butter.
elven, the
elves.
elven kingdoms,
Those guys
absolutely.
are so mean to each other, I tell ya.
We sure are.
And I'm gonna pull up another map here. Let's get y'all on the map.
Oh, I do love a map.
So our viewers, how are we doing? I think we have 4 on right now. Go ahead and drop in the chat to tell us how we are. Somebody said, Steve said Sagafa is fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much.
She is.
Yep.
Yes, isn't she?
All right. Characters. And those of you who are watching, I do apologize if this takes a little bit long for me to get everything on the board. Shouldn't be too bad, but... Lishijia, is your doll named Puppy?
Yes.
Oh. Sakafa. And Remy. We are beginning a Pathfinder chase. So, I'm going to take Remy's viewpoint right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you are all running now through the trees. I'm assuming you are all following Remy. And
Oh yeah.
what is... Lishijia, I think you would be the person that I'm not sure about.
My first instinct would be, rather than to chase after Remy, to like address whatever it is everyone's, because I'm assuming that's what the threat is, rather than Remy trying to get away from it.
Okay, so you know what? I'm so sorry. Can you say that again? I kind of tuned out because I saw something in the chat.
That's fine. My first instinct would be, rather than chase Remy, to like address whatever the problem is, because there's like a spy in the tree, right? If we get rid of the spy, doesn't that solve the problem?
Well, as the spy is spotted, as these there are 2 of them. There are 2 little, and you know what? Anybody can give me a I believe it is a crafting check to determine which one this is. I could be wrong, but
I can do that. Man, these things. Ooh, 26 crafting.
Oh.
nice. Well,
Sorry, there's a spy here.
this appears to be, for anyone who, I would say, Lishijia, you definitely get this. I don't think Hannah got it. Okay, so Lishijia, you would know this as a clockwork spy. And these are specifically created by magic users who blend magic with technology and put a spell gem that records the sound in an environment. And someone would be using these to spy on you, but as they are spotted, they race into the trees and Remy follows.
I'm chasing. I'm going after these things.
All right, can we get a little bit of like not super intense, but a little
Chase
bit like
music.
pumped up chase music.
Yeah.
Also,
Like
it's
the word.
7:27. We're going to end at 8 for everybody who's watching. And here's how chases work. I am going to lead you through a set of obstacles. And the fact that you are on the map, it's not really necessary in a chase, but I wanted to make sure we had some visuals. Chases are really cool. It's a really neat mechanic within Pathfinder 2e, and we are going to go through a set of obstacles, like I said. Every time you go through an obstacle, I'm going to ask you to give me a skill check. And that skill check will determine whether or not the group passes the obstacle. In order to pass an obstacle, the group needs a total of 6 chase points. Also, can you turn it down just a little bit, Don?
Just yep.
And let's just go through this as we go through our first obstacle. Yeah?
Okay.
Yep.
So, if you could, go ahead and move your character up to where Remy is.
Okay, I don't have a map on mine.
Oh.
Might have.
Yeah,
I might
it
have.
wasn't shared.
Nope, that's totally my fault.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. Different map.
I was getting ready to ask someone to move my token for me. No, this is perfect. Thank you.
And also, let me get
What in
the Clockwork Spies up on the board, too.
So dark.
It is. And the only thing that's illuminating the area is moonlight.
That's
Aw.
okay.
Can I see in the dark? Oh boy.
I know I can't.
There is enough light to navigate.
What am I doing? Oh my God.
All right.
Oh, a low light vision. Oof.
All right. Our first Clockwork Spy has passed the first obstacle. Can I have each of you, and I'm going to go ahead and unlock your tokens, move up to Remy for me, and we're going to see how we do with this challenge.
Goodness.
All
Agatha,
right.
you got a little handsy there.
I'm sorry. I tripped.
I don't mind. This isn't a complaint. Trust me. Just maybe a little warning or privacy next time.
You know what? I respect that. I'll be sure next time.
As you run up to this group of trees, you notice there's quite a bit of heavy undergrowth. Roots are sticking up from the soil. The grass, the vines that have fallen from trees. This area in general has a lot of things on the ground. And I would like an acrobatics or an athletics check to weave through the trees and avoid tripping over the undergrowth. If you have any other options of things you would like to do, feel free to try them, or at least let me know what they are.
Ija yells out to Hannah and Sagatha, "Watch out, there's some underbrush over here," and I'm going to use some nature check, if you don't mind,
Amazing.
to help navigate and point out areas of underbrush.
I love it. And
Well, I got a nat 20, so 27.
amazing.
I get a 19, so that's a 24 for me.
Super good. I love it.
I rolled fairly low, so and Krieg's already a bit slower than the average adventurer. So if I could, I'd like to burn a hero point to reroll.
You can do that. Yeah, so each of you actually have 1 hero point at the start of our game today. I should have made that clear. But yes, you can do that.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Oh, buddy.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay, hang on. So,
Maybe I'll put the
Don't
shovel
worry, Craig,
away.
we've got you.
Can I use my nat 20 to catch the falling Craig and just drag him along with me?
hang on. We've got, if you have a 1, which we rolled 1 natural 1, although this is a skill check.
It's a critical
It's still
failure.
a crit
You're
fail.
right. Yeah, thank you.
Minus 1 BP.
Yep, it is -1 chase point for the group.
Okay.
Now, Anybody between the numbers of 8 and 17. Give me a little, like, thumbs up, like, yes, I got it. Between
No,
8 and 17.
Oh,
Everyone else is higher.
It was
Yep.
just Krieg. Yeah.
Just
All right, so we've got 2 chase points from Lishijia, 2 chase points from Sagafa, 2 chase points from Gwen, 2 chase points from Shaija, and, just for kicks, let's roll with Remy too. And as we go through this chase, please, 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 just like Mike and Gwen did, play out that roleplay moment of the
Sure.
chase. Like, oh, I shout to this person and say this thing.
okay. So for my natural 1, Craig tries. He's pushing his little body as quick as he can. He's only 3'2". His dueling cape gets snagged on some brush, and it just clotheslines him into the mud ground.
And as you do that, I would imagine Hannah steps back. And what does
Yeah,
Hannah
I
do?
I just literally heft him up. I've got a 27. Athletics is my bread and butter.
Yeah.
And I just pull him hard enough that it breaks the branch that his cape's attached to, and I'm just barreling through like he's a football underneath my arm and breaking the branches ahead of me to help clear a path for everyone else.
Amazing. And Remy also, he's not doing too much for the group, but he's kind of like weaving his way throughout the underbrush, and he's like pointing out little things like, oh, watch that. Oh, watch that. Oh, don't trip. Go ahead, Sagafa.
May I, as we're running, can I kind of give Craig a little bit of an encouragement and say, hey, buddy, don't worry about it. The jungle's not your natural habitat. And are we allowed to cast cantrips at the moment?
So, in the next obstacle, you can choose to make your action to cast that spell. But right
Okay.
now, we've already done that action.
Okay, perfect.
Well, go ahead.
As flavor for mine, I
Yeah.
would have I'm trailing behind everyone else because I have long silk skirts. I am not made for running. And
slippers.
it's nice silk beaded slippers. Oh man, so good in the dirt and mud. And I snap my fan open, and I'm sort of trailing behind, holding skirt with one hand, and I speak into it. And then Remy hears this, but Hannah, who is in front, hears this as well. She hears, they're little bobbins, break them. And as they go down the line, I relay this message to everyone.
Say it again for me.
They're little magical bobbins, break them.
I love it. All right, so we're going to advance to our second obstacle. Go ahead and follow the Clockwork Spy for me. And Remy. And why don't y'all go ahead and pause on that log. All right. You can choose to go about this one of 2 ways. There's a rock that you could jump over. There's also a log that you can cross to get across the stream. Acrobatics or athletics, or as always, anything else that you feel might work.
I'm gonna try for the rock. So Hannah sees that, and she sees that spies are flying a bit in the air. So she's gonna try to jump onto the rock and use it to try to get a running jump and trying to get closer to the clockwork spies.
Okay. I think, you know what, before you make that happen, oh, I'm glad I caught that before the roll. Remy is going to run up to you and he's going to nod before you jump on that rock. Can you move your token back for me?
Yes.
Before you jump on that rock, Remy's going to nod at you and he's going to say, a lift?
Yeah. I'm already carrying Craig, aren't I?
Are you already? Oh, never mind.
So
That's
I
okay.
put him. I grab Remy and put him under my other arm. So I'm just carrying our 2 small party members, and just launch myself into the air with a 22.
Okay, that is a difficult action. I think I'm gonna ask you to take a -4 to your check. This should probably be more than that, but we're gonna go with -4 for right now.
Well, that puts me at an 18 on my roll.
All right. 1 chase point for Hannah, but she has successfully helped Remy and Krieg across. What about Sagafa? What is she doing?
Okay, so is this my chance to either cast a spell or run, or do I still run across the log?
You can cast a spell if you are trying to help someone else. And yeah, that would be okay.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm looking at Lycidia and seeing that maybe she's not very well equipped for this, so I'm gonna holler at her and just say, we're gonna get you some better shoes, I think, the next chance we get. And I'm gonna cast guidance on her.
Okay.
So she gets a +1 status bonus to 1 attack roll, perception check, saving throw, or skill check.
Amazing.
So,
Thank you. You're a darling.
You know what? We're in this together, my friend.
And with that, Lycidia, you have an 18 on the die now is a 19, correct?
Sure.
Okay. +2 chase points. So we've got a total of 3 chase points now. What about Shaija and Krieg?
Shaija's running up, I guess he's the rock that Hannah jumped towards. Oh gosh, what did I get? Okay, yeah, so she runs, jumps, you see her slip a little bit on the rock. Or the bag that's on her shoulder that's carrying all her herbs goes to fall into the ground, and she barely manages to roll over, so she slowed down a bit as she falls a little bit into the water, but it catches up behind.
Nice. Okay.
12 total, by the way.
12 total. We now have 4 chase points.
Can I do another thing?
Not in this round.
Got it.
We
Go
do
ahead,
have
Don.
Krieg and Remy who have.
We do still have Krieg and Remy.
So, Krieg is going to look over at Remy being carried, feeling very much like we're the Merry and Pippin of the party already. And look up at Hannah. Let me down. I can help clear the way.
You don't want me to throw you towards it?
Oh, throw me. Yes.
Give
Naturally, of course.
So if you want to do this, that's pushing it with actions though. I'm gonna say no on throwing.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So I'll just slither out from safety, basically, and pull out a knife and just start slashing at any of the brambles in the way.
Nice. Okay.
And he's pretty acrobatic just in nature. So he's spinning and not full on like Yoda flipping around, but definitely just hack and slashing as fast as he can ahead of Hannah as she comes barreling through.
Give me that skill check.
I think that'd just be an attack, or
good call. Give me an attack.
Okay. Melee.
And just roll damage for me.
Okay. Cool.
You're able to make a significant clearing for Hannah to jump into.
Okay.
And with that, my hand just cramped. Remy, you're 31. Remy is going to look over at Lycidia. Actually, Sagafa and Lycidia, would you say which one of the three of you, Sagafa, Lycidia, or Shaija is the furthest behind at the moment?
I didn't move at all, so it would probably be me.
Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and say Remy looks over at you and says, "Oh, whoa, you still need to get across." And he snaps his fingers, and he casts Fleet Step at level 1.
Oh.
And you now have a plus 30-foot bonus to your speed.
Oh,
And
no.
I'm going to roll that as another... we passed the second obstacle. Total of 6 chase points. How we doing?
I'm feeling fast.
However, as you land on the other side, and everybody go ahead and move your tokens for me, you notice that the stream bank is very, very muddy. And Krieg, I think you would have noticed this as well and kind of sunk in as you landed.
Yeah.
So, a couple options. You can give me a pretty high acrobatics check to avoid the mud entirely. Or you can do an athletics check to wade through the ankle-deep mud. Or as always, you can do something else, and I'm going to keep the DC equal to one of the difficult one or the less difficult one. But acrobatics, reminder, you're avoiding that mud entirely. It's a little bit harder of a check, but your athletics is, if you want to just kind of wade your way through, it's not quite as difficult. Up to y'all.
And Hannah, since she's carrying Remy, I see some bumps. Can I use my athletics to help pull people through and get them to the tree stump to help avoid the obstacle?
I love that. Yeah.
And I might use my hero point because it feels like this should be...
Higher?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was 1 point higher.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
All right.
It was just in my mind. I was like, yeah, it's 1 higher.
All right. So Hannah attempts to pull one of the party members over to that tree stump. What is Shaija doing?
Shaija's completely submerged into this mud, and you see one of her legs pull up. She's like, "Oh no! Somebody help me!" And she pulls her foot out, and her boot's stuck. So she's like grabbing her boots as she's like wading through. I got a 6 total, as she's like getting stuck behind in the mud.
All right. So we currently have 1 chase point. Wait. Yeah, 1 chase point. What about Lishijia? And then we'll go to Krieg and then Sagafa.
Lishijia was sort of like trying to delicately make her way across the tree. And then as she sees everyone, as she leaves, Shaija sort of, gets stuck in the mud. She's like, unseemly. This is a farce. And I'm going to cast, what's it called? Telekinetic projectile to grab a rock from the riverbed and just hurl it at the bobbin to knock it out of the air, because that's all we need.
I like that. Go ahead and give me, I think that's a ranged attack, correct?
Oh, God.
With your spell bonus.
It's a ranged spell attack.
Which tab is that under? Help me, Omega.
The actions.
Actions. Oh, it's not on there because I didn't put that on there.
That's okay.
What's your spell casting modifier? Is it a +4? Are you charisma, int, whiz?
Spell casting
Should
modifier.
be intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah, what's your intelligence?
My intelligence is currently 4.
So you got a +7 to your spell attack roll.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll just roll a d20 and add 7.
Sounds good.
Oh,
nice.
Oh!
Let's go!
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So 26 to hit this guy absolutely hits.
Oh, the fly! Sorry.
As one of the, and I want to be clear, there are actually 2 of them right now. And as your spell hits, this spy falls to the ground but the other one continues moving forward. Do you allow it to escape and pick up this one that's on the ground? Or do you continue going after the clockwork spy that is trying to still escape?
I try to mage hand the clockwork spy that fell on the ground before I can recover.
I think that would be an extra action.
Yes, that's just my head flavor.
Sounds good. So let's finish this round, and then as a group, decide if we're continuing the chase. Sagafa, or I think I said Dawn for Krieg, and then we'll go to Sagafa.
Okay, is the current location of the map where everyone is right now? Still?
Yes.
Okay, so quickly reaching to his belt, he's going to pull out his hand crossbow and attach a grappling hook. And I like to fire it at a large stump to similar to what Hannah was thinking, to secure a line.
I love it.
Okay, so ranged attack, I'm guessing?
Yeah, and I think this is going to be an AC of probably 5.
Okay. And crossbow. Nope, that's not how that rolls. It's a +7. So unless it's a... Okay.
Unless it's a -6.
Unless it was a nat
7.
1, I was... Yeah, so yeah.
All right.
Thunk, and then I just hold it tight and start dragging myself through the mud.
All right. That is another chase point.
Cool.
I think we're at... Okay, help me out here. We've got Shaija with 1. No, Shaija did not get 1. We've got Hannah with 1. We've got Li Shijia with 1. Absolutely. And then Krieg with 1. So we've got 3 at the moment. Sagafa, you're up.
Yeah, okay. I'm the last one to go, right?
Remy.
Okay.
Remy, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I already tried to jump over the mud, but I'm so short that I landed in there, and it's like up to my knees, I can't move through this right now. I gotta take my time.
Okay. You got a 10 on your acrobatics, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we only have 3 chase points. We can either go again, and here's what happens is our clockwork spy that is remaining moves further away off in the distance. There is one that's on the ground, seemingly unable to move. Can you roll damage for me, Jenna?
Sure. It is 1d6 plus 4 bludgeoning, I believe.
Okay.
6 damage total.
6 total damage, yeah. Okay, let me pull up the... Ooh. It's on the ground. You know what? Everybody give me a perception check for initiative.
Okay.
Oh.
But why? Oh, God.
Well, that's
12?
only a 10 for me.
Wrong number.
22.
Lishigia, what was yours?
13 plus... plus 3. Oh, okay, never mind. It's 16. Yeah.
Okay, Hannah.
I got a 12.
All right. Our clockwork spy is at... Oh, that's a good initiative modifier. All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
15.
Oh, wow, yeah, it is.
Krieg, what's your initiative?
22.
Amazing. Remy's initiative is... Not great. Shaija.
11.
And last but not least, Sagafa.
Oh, only a 10 for me.
All right, we are now in combat. You see that the other clockwork spy has reached the next what you would consider obstacle. However, this clockwork spy is now on the ground and gets up with its 4 little legs and then aims at you. And Krieg, it's your move.
Crossbow still in hand. He's going to spend an action to put another bolt in and fire.
All right.
That's actions. Plus 7. Ugh.
Ooh, that was almost a 1.
Yes, it was. 14.
A 14. A 14 is... Ooh. 14 does not hit.
Okay. So one action to load the crossbow, an action to fire, and then I'm just going to... last action is pull out my rapier.
All right.
Which I pull it out of a very muddy now, but typically very bejeweled scabbard. And everyone has props. Spirit Halloween didn't have rapiers, but they had cutlasses.
Amazing.
So that's me. Unless I can, I play more Starfinder. Unless I can draw as part of an action.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Then I'm standing there, crossbow in one hand, rapier in the other.
Amazing. Swashbuckler. All right.
Yeah.
The next step is Li Shijia.
Tell me is this thing bulk 1 or less?
This is... Yeah, it's a tiny creature. Tiny construct.
Tiny construct. Okay.
No, Mike,
am
it's
I
not.
Oh, no, it is.
Okay.
Am I allowed to telekinetic projectile the thing and smash it into the ground?
Mm-mm.
Okay. That would have
what I
been
thought you were
Good
gonna ask.
question.
would have been fun.
Force
though.
grab.
Been fun. I thought about it. Yeah, I'm gonna throw another rock at it.
Do it.
I point my gun at a rock and then I try to hit it.
Okay.
Ooh, 7, 8 only. No, wait, 8.
11.
11, thank you.
11 total damage? Or
11
to hit?
total. To hit.
Okay, that is a miss.
Okay.
Next up is our Clockwork Spy. And our Clockwork Spy flies over to you, Lishijia,
Rude.
and will attempt to bludgeon you with its spherical body. And so this this
fucking rude.
this little tiny little orb, spider orb thing with little wings, flies up and then tucks everything in and boom, tries to hit you.
Oh my gosh.
Bummer. Oh.
All right. Does a 15 hit your AC?
It's my AC. 15 is my AC.
15's your AC. It matches. Okay.
Oh my
Well,
god.
you're going to take, wait for it, 1d6 minus 1 bludgeoning damage. So you will take 1 bludgeoning damage.
You hear me scream as this thing hits the side of me, and I start ungracefully whacking my hand around to try and hit it.
Like an insect.
Amazing.
Like an insect.
Hannah, what are you doing?
I am yelling at this thing. How dare you touch a hair on her pretty head? And I am going to move over and pull out my longsword, and I'm going to use my fighter's ability, Snagging Strike.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a strike and then try to grapple it with the same action.
Okay.
Oh,
Hey.
ooh, How does a 28 sound?
I think that works. We
So
are.
it's gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
So it's gonna be a D8 plus 4 damage. So that's 9 damage. Plus it is It has to make an opposing athletics check, I believe.
Is that a critical hit?
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah.
Is
No,
it 10
it's-
more than its AC?
It's hang on a sec.
Mhm.
It is a critical hit. So,
What?
but here's what happens. As
Interesting.
you reduce this clockwork spy to 0 hit points, the spy begins to thrash around in your hands, and the little orb, or the little gem in front of on the sphere, begins blinking. And there's a steady ticking sound.
Wow, I wish I had more than 8 intelligence.
And any adjacent creature can attempt to use thievery to stop this thing from blowing up in your faces. I'm assuming that's a no.
Well, I'm gonna take off my buckler and put it underneath the buckler and dive
Nice.
on top of it
Okay,
to try to shield everyone else from the blast.
I like it. So the clockwork spy does explode and deals. Whoa.
Oh.
1d10 piercing damage in a 5-foot radius. Except. Oh, go ahead.
No, you.
Except because your buckler and your body are over it, Gwen, Hannah will take the full damage. And Lishija, you are going to take. I think I'm going to rule that as 2 damage.
Got it.
Yeah, I'll say 1. I think that's fair.
Got it.
And as this happens, in the distance, you hear growling and the howls of wolves that pierce the night, shortly followed by screaming from the near village of Bungai. And that's where we're going to end session.
Woo!
I
Ow.
kept you safe, Lishija.
I was
Oh,
gonna
my
say, Hannah,
hero.
you're pretty good at this whole fighting thing.
Oh, 1 second. I got my breath knocked out of me. What?
I kneel next to you and start rubbing your back.
I would dive on 5 more bombs for you. And
Let's-
Not for,
Let's keep it at 1, shall we?
I mean,
let's not forget one of those watchers escaped.
Right.
And thank you so much to our viewers, to our listeners, people who are watching or listening on YouTube as well, or once we get this episode up, and on our podcast, which I'll share out on our Twitter. Please follow us on Twitter at Galesrian Greatest. That is GILESRIENGR8ST. We're super happy to have you, and we hope that you enjoy our show. Thank you, all of you people who I'm playing with. You're awesome. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And we'll pick up with the cries of wolves and the screaming next week.
see you next week.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.